Hi, all. So let's have some fun today in our Gelli JunkAdori. I know we're going back and forth between all of our book structures, but that's real life in a studio, right? You got to keep all your projects in rotation. At least that's how I do it versus all my time on one thing and then all my time on the other. I kind of like lose interest. So I have a tendency to like keep a lot of things going. And in that way, I don't become bored. So we're going to go back to the Gelli JunkAdori. And I had the idea today, a little bit of Arizona plant life inspiration. I knew I had these napkins, which I love. And for those of you who got the purge packs already, the ones that were in part of the giveaway, you guys got some of these napkins in there, different ones like this. And but I get these you can get these napkins anywhere. I get them from Tuesday mornings, but of course anywhere, Ross, the dollar store even. These make great collaging elements. So I already have one where I taken, just so you know, I've done this before on some other videos, but you know, just so you guys can see, you know, you separate this white backing. Generally there's two layers of it. So I take both layers and pull them away. Let's see if I can do it. You know, it's always hard when you're trying to do it for the camera, right? But there's two layers like this that you pull away, and you end up with the single layer that's going to look like this, where it's single. You can tell there's no other backing on it. You want to get down to that. So make sure you pull both layers off for this process. And so I thought it would be fun to use this as a theme because I love this print. And so I thought what we would do, the next page is here, is right here, is kind of create a jelly print of using palm leaves. I haven't done it before, so let's see how it works. And then we'll use this paper as well, but we're going to decoupage it because I'm probably going to make at least a pocket with it. We'll see how it works out. So we're going to start off first by, so I'm going to be back and forth here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get another layer down here of some gold. So I'm going to put some down and let it dry because I want to, when I go to pull this print, I want to just loosen this stuff up some. Actually, this will be okay. Okay. I'm gonna put some of this down. This is the Arteza Gold. You guys know. And so I just want to kind of get a thin layer down here so that there will be some interest behind the print when I go to pull it. Let's rub that off there. And I'm gonna use this, put that there, this cardboard. I like the pattern that it makes. It's actually packing material that I think came off of something that I bought from IKEA. And it you know, it had it on this side. I actually took and did some glue and made another kind of glue stencil on the back. But it makes this really interesting kind of honeycomb pattern. So I'll let that dry now. So pull your packing material apart. You never know what kind of pattern is going to be underneath there, but it really makes this really cool pattern. So I'm going to let that dry. So while that's drying up, we're going to go ahead and decoupage this right here. Sorry about nothing. I got to always make sure I keep something for to focus on. So we're going to use our Mod Podge. And let's take a bit of this. This is that masking paper that I get from the hardware store. For those of you who are new, you probably haven't seen this before. Some of the earlier videos I talk about it. But you get this whole entire roll for like $3 or something. I get it from Home Depot, Lowe's. But any store that sells paints generally has this masking paper over like wherever the painter's tapes and stuff. It's just designed to lay down and kind of mask wall boards or windows and different things like that. It comes in all different sizes, but it's a really nice thin sort of brown paper. It's very convenient, and you get a ton of it for the money. So I love using that. And we're going, I think I'm gonna crinkle it before I paint on it. I mean, before I put this on it, because it just gives it a nice extra kind of texture to the paper before we glue it up. Just flatten it back out, and then we're going to use our Mod Podge. I always do this. I've learned the hard way. Just take a piece of wax paper and put over it. You never have to worry about that top sticking, and you never have to worry about, you know, just drying out and all that kind of stuff. So let's get some of this on here, and just going to spread it out. Okay. Get a nice thin layer of Mod Podge. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and put this right down on it. Kind of flatten it in. Okay. And then what I like to do is just go ahead and sometimes I wait for it to dry, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the next layer on top. Sometimes you don't want to go right to it because you can tear, especially when the papers are thin, but this is not, I didn't make it really juicy under the bottom, so I don't have to worry about it being too much glue to get the paper too wet. And then what this is going to do is just, you know, decoupage the paper and make a nice single layer. And we'll put this aside. That's why I wanted to do this first, so I could put it aside to dry. While we do the rest of it, the jelly printing. So we can use this. Should be dry by the time I need it. Let's hope. I wanted to show you this process because it's real easy and it's neat. It makes a really neat paper. So no matter what kind of, you know, napkin you get, I have them of shells and flowers, old like botanical. They really are nice. They make a nice, here again, making your own paper, you know, from something that you love and that is maybe it's already pre-printed. So, you know, you kind of can have an image, but it's still unique to you, you know, with the decoupage and everything. And then also what's kind of cool is to just kind of getting some water. I keep these bottles of bottled water. I just fill it up with a little bit of water. I keep them on my desk because what it does is it allows me to kind of clean my stuff right on the spot, but I don't have to worry about things spilling over when you have sort of open containers, and then I can close them off when I'm done with it, but they're always at the ready. Plus around here, you got to close stuff off in Arizona because if I just had bottles left open on my workstation, by the time I got to them in a couple of days, they surely would be evaporated. Okay, so see how that looks? It's really cool. So we're going to let that just dry up. And while that's drying there, we are going to come back now and we're going to do some jelly printing. Let's just see how this works. Like I said, I haven't used these palm frauds. I have no idea how they're going to work. So I think what I was going to do was kind of put a white down. I don't know why white, but I just had that in my mind. So let's just see. And this plate is not seasoned really because I'm just starting to print with it. So it may, I don't know, we'll see. I'm using thin paper. I'm using the Japanese calligraphy paper. I have no idea what this is going to do. Let's hope it does something. We'll see. This is kind of brittle. I don't know if it's going to leave stuff on the plate. We're experimenting together. You know, that's what we do here. And possibly what I'll need to do is, okay, so see, we kind of got this little negative space thing, but now let's take this off because I'm thinking there should be some good stuff there. And as opposed to pulling that right now, I think I'm going to put another color over top of it. Like, let's try this pearl chartreuse. See how that, do you think I should do that one? Yeah, let's just see how it works with the white paint and the gold that's underneath there. Let's just see what kind of print we can pull up. Well, I'm seeing the pattern from the palm leaves there. That's exciting. Let's put this down. I don't know if this green is going to be too matchy-matchy. I don't know. Let's see. Can always do another color. Let's see what I have here. I need to pull out another green. Let's just see. I'm getting something. Hope it doesn't stick. Okay. Wow. I got the print, but I got what was underneath there from when I was jelly printing with the cards. Okay, so we're going to do this again. So that means I can see the print, but what it means is I need more contrast. So I got to go with a color with more contrast. So let's try it again. That's what we do when we're experimenting. Let me look over here and get another green. Maybe what I'll do is go with a darker green, like maybe, let's look in this green family and see. Or how else can I interpret this? I feel like I do want a green, so let's just see. Kind of want like a funky green that doesn't look too much like, oh, here's a Payne's gray. You know, I like my Payne's gray. Let's try that. Because that might be the way to go. Here's an olive green also. Let's try that. Okay, let's try that green and see what we end up with. Okay. So once again, I like the idea of the gold. Let me just go right with the green first. Let's try the olive green and see what we get. Maybe I'll do that and then come back with some gold or something like that. Okay. So I'll put this down. Okay, it is a green. I don't know about this. Let me try putting it over this. See what kind of print we end up coming up with. See if we can get that sort of ghost print again. This is what I do a lot of times. If I have an idea, I just experiment until I get it to be what I want it to be. So sometimes it really is sort of figuring out the palette, you know, like your color palettes, the way to actually, you know, activate the whole thing. Okay, so now we've got this interesting pattern over top of that background. So let's pull this. So I'm gonna go back to this one that had that gold on it. And let's just pull this direct print and see what we get. You never know till you try. Okay, well, that's an interesting sort of fan print. Let's try that again. I'm actually liking that green. I think that'll go. It's like an earthier green. Let me try. I think the paint gray is going to be a little bit too dark, but let's do a combination of the olive with, oh, you know what I can do now? Let's just put this down. And let me just get, so this is the pearl pastel green. So we'll get a little bit. Let's try getting a little bit of, you know. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just put the top part of this here. And let's use that. Try to put that right over the print so we can see if we can get the pointed parts of the frond on here. So there are little abstract. You can use, you know, obviously use any plant that you have. You want to do a similar thing. Okay, that's interesting. See how it's kind of like bringing a little bit more definition. So now what I need, though, I'm going to go ahead and put this down over here. I need to have something a little darker. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, so I'm just getting layers right now, but it's hard to see them on the camera, but it's actually building up some neat little layers. So I'm going to do my go-to color when I'm really trying to get something to emphasize. And you know what that is? Our quinacridone Ozo Gold. I really need some definition, but I don't really want it to be too thick, I mean, too much. But I want it to be a pow because I don't want all this to be green. I want everything to be green, you know? So let's just do a really faint thing like that. And let's go back and get these pointed sections again because I liked the idea of that. And then let's do that. So let's see if we can get this to give us a little drama. Yeah, that's what we needed. Look at that drama. That's what I was looking for. And now we actually can see the leaf print, but it still looks like it's the green palm leaves coming up. I'm telling you, that quinacridone Ozo Gold is a miracle worker all the time in my world. So now I'm going to take this and put the bottom part on there, and we should be able to pick the underside of it up as a print. Yeah, look at that. That's good. Okay, so I like this. That gave us some prints to work to without turning this into an absolute jelly printing session, but it kind of gave me what I was looking for. So now let's, I love that. Okay, this also makes good brushes too, like for the intuitive scripting. I'm gonna have to show you, I mean, not the intuitive scripting, but the mark making. We'll have to do some brushes together also. So let me put this over here. Let's see where we are with this. It's starting to dry up. So I'm gonna move this all out the way. Loving these paints. I'm loving having all the variation of color too. I have to admit, I've never really been big on buying like full sets of color. I normally like to pick my own color, but as I've noticed, and as I've noted to you guys, that I like the fact that these colors they have a really good color palette, you know, like across the board. Oh, sorry. This looks good together. And I forgot about the fact that I have it on brown paper. So that little bit of brown paper really picks up nicely with the gold and with the quinacridone ozo gold. So that's going to bring some interest to our print. Even the brown in there works well. Okay, let's open this up and see where we're going to go with it. So remember the other day I had left this piece here so I could play with it. And I kind of like the idea that there's a black piece going across here, but I may, you know, work over it. So we'll see. So let's kind of figure out what we want to do here. I feel like I want to put this like over here, maybe. I get a portion of it. I really like a lot of it, actually. Let's see. Maybe I'll do that thing I did before where I'll just span the page with it. I liked how that was. And then we have the full print on here, which is kind of cool. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Am I going to keep that like that? Or do I want to put it underneath? I think I'm just going to put it underneath. And then that way I can work. One of these I'm going to make a pocket out of. So I think this will be the pocket. Like right there. Well, let's just see. This is a pretty print. I'm loving this print. Let me take a, you know me, let me take a Xerox of it. At least I can play with it at another point if I do that. It helps me to remember. Let me make this a little darker. Taking a Xerox of it also helps me remember what I did when I go to use this, you know. So I like doing that. And I had some bigger pieces, like large pieces of palm. I wasn't sure, but I think the smaller ones like worked really well. So to give us what we wanted. That over there. And we're waiting for that to print. Okay. Oh. Let me go ahead and glue this down. All righty. I don't know. I actually want that now. I might not even want that. Let me look at this again. Let me pull this out. Did I do color? Did the green funny? You know, I darkened it. Maybe I should just not do. Just keep it color it was. But sometimes I've noticed that it got some color, but then it made the, I don't know why it made the green turn. It's like a black. But we know it's color because of that. But this makes an interesting kind of high contrast print. So put that over here, play with. Let's see if this is my green gone. You know what? I think my green is gone. This is not printing green at all. It's a little green. It is actually in the light. It is green. But it's just coming out so much darker. But that's okay, because I can remember what I did. And that gives me a little point of reference. I can make notes in terms of what those colors were. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, I might actually cut that off. I don't know that I want that over here now. I like this on the page. And then, so yeah, I'm going to tear this off. That's why I always keep it, because I never know, am I going to keep it or not keep it? But it gives me the option if I don't want to. So you go back over in the box. Okay. And I like the fact that we had our little bit of tape that popped over. So that's a cool thing to have. So what I'm going to do is put this like that. And then at the point that it's going to hit the end of the page, I'm just going to go ahead and fold it. So I want it to come all the way over to the edge so that it'll look like it's meeting come time to put it back down. Okay, so let's go ahead and rip this. And I did this, like I said, on the Japanese calligraphy paper, so it just makes a nice thin paper, which is going to make a nice, adhesion. Okay. Alrighty, we're going to put it on here like that. So, put our glue stick. Get the glue in. This is fun. Yeah, I don't know. This is what I do a lot of times too. I just kind of get, sort of jelly printing inspirations. And I just had, when I was cleaning my studio up the other day, I came across a decoupage I had done with that napkin. And I'm like, oh, I want to use that. And then this morning I was thinking, yeah, I want to use that napkin in my Gelli JunkAdori. And but then I'm like, I want to do something else. And then I had the idea to go out in the yard, grab one of those palm fronds off from a palm tree and use it. See how jelly prints up, see what kind of print I can make with it. So that's cool. I'm pleased with this little print. And this was just quick, I could do a whole jelly printing session, on this. But, this is about doing our Gelli JunkAdori too, so I didn't want to take too much time jelly printing, but just give you some ideas about how I'm thinking about it and how, I can, make a print that's fun with what we'll have going here, but at the same time, it's our little print. So it's sort of this abstract relationship to the palm leaf. And it still reads palm leaf because it's enough of the texture from that palm that really came off in here. And then by me getting the points, by going back over and getting the top of it and bringing it down into the relationship of the print, it made a neat little print there. You can use any kind of trees that you have in your yard, any kind of plant fiber, whatever. See what you come up with. I'd never done a palm leaf print, so this was a first. But that's how it goes, right? We kind of have these ideas and you work them out. So now I've matched that print up so that it's on the other page, but it's nice and matched up there. Okay, so there we have. Oh, I love it. And do the happy dance. Okay, so this one I'll probably save for another time because I do like this. I like how we have that under pattern on it. And I like the reverse of it, how the, over there. Okay, now let me clamp this down. It's going to obviously start rolling up because we have moisture on it. Okay, now, what's next? What do we want to do next? Well, I covered up my little piece of tape. I don't want to do that. And since I'm going to tear this off anyhow, let's just go ahead and make this be a little bit more, grunge. It's not so perfect there. Okay, that's good. Now, let's see what we want to do. I almost feel like I want to make this a pocket, but you know what I think I'm gonna do? That's what I'm gonna do. I'll make it a side pocket. That'll be cool. That way we get to enjoy our print Yeah. And then we'll still have our pocket. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and tear this. Wow, it's already dry. So I'm just gonna make a little pocket here, and I'm gonna take it across the top because I want to get, that's a little cheeky, but I want to get the palm and all that on there. I like that, and in the old script. So yeah, I like that. And I like this coat of arms. Some kind of way I got to get all of that on there. I don't know, my page is not that long, but we're going to see what we work out here. So and oh yeah, I can get most of that because I wanted to get histoire, material, palm, and then this little coat of arm down there. So we're going to kind of overlap it like that. So where does this need to come? Let me just do it like this. It's so much easier if I can see. You just put a little mark here. I'm using this red because I'm not going to probably use that end of it. And I want to be able to see it over top of all of this. So it looks like this is a good amount to come over my print. And then this is going to be where I take it off of to rip it. Do this way so I can see that it's about the same width. I'll do like a little quick measuring just to make sure. I'm eyeballing, but 10 and a half. 10 and a half, perfect. Okay. You see I'm tearing it like this so that I don't tear into my print. So tear it against the ruler, and then that way you get a straight line without having to worry about it like ripping into here. Okay, so now okay, let me just take this little bit off here. Perfect. So now we have a nice long side pocket that also relates to our print. Oh, I did that wrong. So it goes up here like this. And then over here, I need to just take some off. Should be right here at this point. Approximately. Okay. Alrighty. Perfect. So now we know that's going to go down nicely. So before we do that, let's just go ahead and I want to get this bottom part off. So I'm just going to line my ruler up and just go ahead and tear it like that. And then here, same thing. Get rid of that edge. Okay. Oh, I love this. Let's just get this little piece that's hanging off. I don't know why that kind of little odd chink like that bothers me, but it does. You wouldn't think that it would. As much as I like things grunge, that little thing bothers me. Okay. So let us, we're going to put this down. And I love this background like that. You know how that's looking. So let's go ahead and use our double-sided tape. I need the thin one. Hold up, it's behind me. We need this little thin one. That way we doesn't, like the tape doesn't take up our entire pocket. So here, oh, I love this print. Oh my goodness. Like that's exciting. You see how that quinacridone ozone gold, if like everyone should have this in their painting arsenal. I don't care where you are in the process. You definitely should have that. You don't use a Michaels coupon for anything else but that quinacridone called. It's so worth it. Make sure I get the right end. This is the top, so this is going to be the side. If you don't have a Michaels and the only place you can get this is online, then ask for it for a gift, birthday, Christmas, you name it, because it is worth it. And then that way you can get a big bottle. You know, it's a $30 birthday gift. That's not a problem, right? Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and burnish it so we know. And then I just like to use like a corner of something just to kind of lift up. Because otherwise, like you're forever trying to pick that thing up. But burnishing it really helps to release the paper backing. Our fingers stop pushing it back down. And okay. Now, let's go ahead and get this like that, and down. Okay, perfect. So now we have our pocket. Look at that. Okay, yeah. And this paper is super sturdy now because with the Mod Podge on it, that's how you can make some really sturdy pockets and stuff, because with the backing paper and the 2 layers of the Mod Podge, it really does make a nice, sturdy pocket. So you don't have to worry about this thing ripping or anything. So look at that. It's looking good. I love it. So now what I want to do is a couple of things. I must, yes, I know you guys are going to get tired of me using this tape, but I must. I have to do this. I need to run some of this down that outside edge because. Let me put it up here. My little tripod. Oh no, remember what I learned to do? Forgetting my own system. Put it down here. It makes it so easy for taking it off. Then I have the extra, so I just kind of get my lines lined up. There we go. So I'll show you what I was doing. So remember how I learned to put it on my smaller cutting mat? And now I can take and lay this. Let me see what's the best way of doing this. I can lay it exactly where I want it, leaving a little bit. I can see through this tape, so I can see how much I'm overlapping. And then I can see what's left. Put around the back. Wow. Okay, now. Aggressive there. Oh, come on, Robin. It was sticking to what I didn't want it to stick to and not to what I wanted. Might be a little funny with this Mod Podge. We're going to make it work. It should still stick. Okay. So let me just go ahead and cut this here. So I'm bringing it around to the other side, which is good. Let's cooperate. So we're going to get some of this is going to cover over here, which I'm happy to do because, you know, like this is how you just keep on building up from one page to the other. And the thing that I like about this tape is you can still see through it. So it doesn't like overtake what's on the other side. Okay. Just adds that sort of old world look to your page too. I just feel like with this brown paper and that, and then it just also just allows for this. It allows for, what am I saying, Robin? Just everything to just stay nice and tight, but we're just getting a lot of overlay. And I wouldn't have had to put that there because that pocket's going to stay, but it just gives some extra interest, I feel, to the page. And then it just adds extra dimension here on that side. I like that. So this is good. So I want to do one other thing too. Like I have this little corner here, and I like this little seal, though you're not seeing it that well over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find it on my piece of paper here. So now I'll just go ahead and I'm trying to just, I try to scrunch this until the second piece, there we go, separates. Okay. So what I want to do, let's take this off all the way now, is I want to grab this little seal and put it right at the edge of the page here, like, you know. So let's just go ahead and rip it. It's just to kind of get an irregular edge, but I'm doing it in a square, so it sort of looks like a stamp. Okay. Love it. Just gonna kind of put it on the edge like that. See? Go ahead and glue it up. Okay. This doesn't. I gotta be careful. Tear it. Okay. This is not liking that glue stick, so we're not going to force it. Just want to get ourselves some good old tacky glue. Put it on there, and everybody will be happy. I don't want to rip my paper because it's so thin, this napkin, you know. What I'll do is I'll just use my finger. Just a little friendlier. And the glue stick. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this. It's a little hard to deal with because it's very thin. Let me just get the first point down like that. Where's my bone folder? Get the other piece. Okay. And get this little piece down. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay. All that work for that little stamp, but you'll see. Because what I like about it is that it mirrors, see the little points? It mirrors what's going on here, and it mirrors our print. Like, so cool, right? I love that. And then it's like this little official seal. So, love it. Okay. So here we have it. So our poem inspiration came from a napkin in our jelly printing session and our Gelli JunkAdori. How cool is that? So we have a little pocket place. So yeah, see what napkins you can find, see how you want to integrate them. The dollar store is a great place for them. They have so many there for $1. And then any of like the discount stores like Michael's and Ross and all those places, Tuesday mornings, anywhere where they sell those things. I normally pick them up for like $1.49 or something a pack. They're not expensive at all. And you get like 20 napkins or so. So you get a lot of inspiration for a little bit of money. And it makes great tissue paper versus like, you know, like a lot of people are selling tissue paper on their Etsy shops, and I'm not like knocking it or anything, but sometimes they're just way too expensive, like $11, and you get 3 sheets or something like that. I've never bought them, but I've looked at people doing reviews and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot for something that kind of looks like they kind of did just went and got some botanicals or something and reproduced them. It's one thing if that's that person's artwork and like it has a really unique appeal to it, and you're like, yeah, I want to use some of that. I see that as different. But you know, you can go and get your own napkins and different botanicals and stuff like that and make your own tissue paper. So here we are. So hope you enjoyed it, and some more inspiration for your jelly pages. And next video, we'll be back to our palm book. Oh, our palm book. Isn't that funny? Now look how my brain works. This is work on the palm book. It probably made me think about the palm, but I did see it when I was cleaning up my studio. But that's where I think our creative muses come in. I think that's a perfect example of how we just are inspired creatively by our own muse, which is inside of us. It's in our own, you know, it's a reflection of our own inner self, because that's really interesting. But anyhow, we're back to our palm books. I really, really like this green. That olive green in Arteza is a good green. It's a woodsy kind of green. It's not too leafy green, and it's not too emerald. That's a good color green. I can work with that. Goes with my palette well. Alrighty, guys, take care as always. Love you all. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon and being a part of this incredible, fantastic community. I think we have one of the best communities going. And until next time, happy creating. Bye-bye.